Give the people what they want. Voluntary benefits. As a company owner, you want to give your people more benefits, but you can't justify the expense. You can give them more without dipping into your budget, though. And voluntary benefits are a great tool to offer more to help retain and hire more employees. Hey, from the home base in Brookfield, Wisconsin, Roger here, human capital management consultant, marketing guy, and podcast host for this episode of Inside Connect and Simplify, sponsored by the benefit companies. Voluntary benefits give the employee a chance to select benefits at discounted group rates using pre-tax dollars. But what does that really mean? And what kind of benefits are we talking about here? Well, this is why we invite our subject matter experts to talk about our offerings. And today, Tim is joining me. First two-time guest, by the way, Tim. Tim is joining me to talk through it. Tim has been with the company over 25 years and knows voluntary benefits inside and out. Thanks for being here, Tim.
Thanks for inviting me, Roger.
So define voluntary benefits versus the benefits typically offered in a benefits plan.
It's probably easier to define what voluntary benefits are not. Let's start with core benefits. Things have changed through the years. What we see as a core benefit would be health insurance and 401k plans. Any other benefits offered can be voluntary benefits.
So why don't you just take a minute and kind of give a laundry list of what some of those are?
Sure. It could be life insurance, short-term, long-term disability, dental, vision, critical illness, accident plans, and there's several other.
So why would a company want to offer voluntary benefits?
What we like to do is talk about different needs for different people. When you look at your employees, you're going to see that they have different financial risks. They have different needs and different wants. So by offering a voluntary benefit plan, you let people buy the benefits that they want and need. Some of the benefits are somewhat generational. What a younger person, 20 years old, wants versus a person with a family, young family versus somebody who's nearing retirement. Their needs differ. And from a company's standpoint, it's difficult to offer all these benefits and pay for them. So what we do is we say, look, put a laundry list of benefits out there for these people to choose from, educate them, and then have them choose the ones they need.
Okay, so that kind of goes to the next point where I was going to say, how do you help a company pick which ones to even offer? But maybe you tell them to offer them all. Tell me how that works.
That sounds logical, Roger, but oftentimes it doesn't work. And what we find, by offering a whole bunch of new voluntary benefits for people right off the bat can be a bit confusing for the employees. So what we typically do is take a look at what are the current benefits being offered, how are they structured, what are the demographics of the group? Do they skew older? Do they skew younger? We look at all those different things, and typically what we like to do is then come up with a plan to offer 2 new voluntary benefits with each renewal cycle.
Okay, so I follow what your logic is there. And I guess when I'm thinking about voluntary benefits, I'm thinking for our own plan, dental and vision and life, and I think there's TI and there's also long-term care. All those are in there. But let's talk about this from the employee standpoint. So what are the advantages to the employee wanting to sign up for these? I know they part of it's the discounted rate because it's a group thing, right. But talk about some of those advantages.
Well, that's huge, that discounted rate. And there's a couple ways that it is discounted because you get the group pricing. But what also happens is you also get what we call group underwriting. So let's say we have an employee who is overweight, has diabetes, and may not qualify for a life insurance plan. If by using the group life insurance plan, what we can do is get what's called guarantee issue. So an insurance company may say that person who normally wouldn't qualify for a life insurance plan on their own, or it would be very expensive, under the group plan, they could be guaranteed $50,000, $75,000, even $100,000 of life insurance, again, where they wouldn't qualify for it if they went out on the street to buy it.
Okay, and that makes sense, and people have health issues all the time, so I understand how that works. Again, just to be on point or clarify at this point, these are only benefits available while they're employed. Once they leave employment, those benefits don't travel, correct?
Actually, no. Many of the benefits, like the life insurance plans, especially the life insurance plans, do travel with that person. In addition, critical illness and accident plans are commonly what we call portable. So if a person leaves, obviously they cannot have a payroll deducted plan because they're no longer working, but the insurance company will bill them directly. For some of the benefits like dental, short-term disability, the long-term disability, those plans are not portable, but they still offer the employee some relief while they're employed.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to get to, in a minute, we're going to talk about benefits and how that relates to all the other things we do. But before we do that, are there anything new in the last year or two, or anything coming up trend-wise that might be of interest to employers to look at, to offer?
From a product standpoint, no. The benefits that are being offered right now are continuously being improved. The critical illness plans, the accident plans, they have changed dramatically from when they first came out. I was involved in managing our voluntary benefits department when these plans came out. It was a new learning curve, and through the last 10, 12, 15 years, these plans continue to evolve as competition pushes each insurance company to get better. What has changed, though, is how these benefits are communicated. And this is a huge, huge difference. Originally, when we began selling employee benefits, and especially the voluntary benefits, payroll was typically our biggest hang-up. And what I mean by that is the person who handled the company's payroll would say, okay, what are the payroll deductions? How do these things work? And that was an issue in getting the companies to accept and approve these things. In addition, the human resource people didn't understand the benefits. And we would have open enrollment every year, but as new people would come on, they didn't know how to explain the benefits to them, to the new employees, and do a proper job. So what's happened, though, is with our human capital management system, we do have a benefits enrollment piece where, be it life insurance, critical illness, accident, short and long-term disability, dental plans, whatever the benefit may be, through that human capital management system and the benefits enrollment system, we can communicate to the employee what the benefits are, how they work, what the cost is, and let them make a decision based on that. The other awesome thing is, with that system, the employee signs up for the benefit. The applications can be sent directly then to the insurance company, and the payroll deduction is set up in the payroll system. So it's a seamless system that helps communicate, educate, and then communicates to the employee, and then communicates to the rest of the people involved as to what needs to happen from a payroll deduction standpoint.
And I've seen how that works. And I also know that there's one other piece that I think is valuable, at least when I look at it. And that is the employee, depending on what the employee does at the company, different employees are offered different plans potentially, or different benefit options are available, that the system can actually be designed to show them exactly what they have available and not everything that the company is offering. So it would show Roger, who's a single guy at age whatever, I have these two options, where it would show Tim, married guy, has these four options. And it just makes it easier for that employee to navigate the system.
Absolutely. And in addition, what it does is allows the employee to go home, talk to their spouse, and make a decision based on the family needs. So if you think about it, you have a family with 2 or 3 or 4 kids involved in soccer, baseball, football, just being kids. And that employee may sit through the employee meeting where we talk about the benefits. Things may not spark an interest at that point in time. But when they get home, the spouse may remind them, hey, did you forget about, Jeffrey was in the emergency room with a concussion. This one had a knee problem. This one had elbow problem. So they went to emergency room or urgent care. Well, an accident plan is going to pay benefits to them that they can then take the money and use as they like. Typically, they're going to use it, as to help cover the cost of the health insurance plan, but the money goes to them. So you have a communication process where an employee can sit down with a spouse, make a decision to accept or reject, but fully understanding what they are accepting or rejecting. That is awesome. that is something that has come along in the last 15 years that makes me excited about presenting the voluntary benefits.
And I think one of the other benefits, if I remember correctly as well, fix me if I'm wrong, is that it actually shows the cost for each benefit. So you can actually do some math and know what the impact is on a paycheck.
Yes. Some of the benefits, like short-term disability, long-term disability, those benefits are based typically on a person's age and their income. So an employee we would have the information in the system, but they could sit down and take a look at what their costs are. Where we really see a huge impact is with life insurance. A person, and I've done this again for many years, a person may take a look at it and say, I just need enough to bury myself. And they may say, I want $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000. They plug that dollar amount in. Again, the information from that employee has already been put in the system, and it will automatically calculate what the cost is for that $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000. No calculators are needed. It's awesome. It's right in the system. Another person may say, I want $100,000. Another person may say, I want $500,000. Now, the guarantee issue amount for that person may be only $100,000. That additional $400,000, the application to apply for that additional life insurance is right in the benefits enrollment system. Again, an awesome way to have it. The HR person is not dealing with applications, not looking for approvals. And once that policy is approved, payroll is notified and the payroll deductions can begin.
So you kind of segued into, we just talked about some of the benefits for employees. You just hit a benefit for the employer and the HR team because they're not moving paper and having to track paper and applications and making sure those are complete. What are some of the other things that are the benefits that the employer is going to get out of going to an automated benefits enrollment system like this?
Roger, it's almost like hiring an assistant because the system is going to track so many different things. One, it will, again, as I mentioned earlier, educate the employee as to what the benefit is. It will communicate what the benefit is. These are two things, again, where maybe on an off cycle when you hire a new employee, if you have to sit down with that person and explain to them how these benefits work, that's extra time out of your day. The system can do that for the HR person. So you have help there. Tracking applications. You hire somebody, 9 times out of 10, you give them a sheet of paper, an application. You want a decision made, and you want them either accept or reject that, let's say, short-term disability policy. Oftentimes, the application gets lost. It's in their truck, it's in their home, it's in their locker, it's in the garbage can. Who knows where it is? The system will track these people and say, one, on the front end, will say, so-and-so is now eligible for benefits, for the short-term disability benefit. But then it will also say, once the meeting has been held, so-and-so needs to get that application back to you, either accepting or rejecting it. So you don't have an Excel spreadsheet, you don't have something on your Outlook calendar. It's an organized system that saves a ton of time and errors for the employer and the person in charge of the benefits.
So thanks for bringing that up. I was thinking about the moving of the paper and tracking that, but what I wasn't thinking of was also the ability to let HR know when people are even eligible for certain benefits, because it might be a 3 or 6 month or a year in service before they're eligible. Forgot about that. That's automatically in the system. It's taken care of. So again, no whiteboard, no spreadsheet to remind you that you have to contact Bill and let him know he's eligible. So yeah, another great benefit for having it all in the system. So let's move off of the HCM system for a minute and just talk about your process, how employers use you to educate folks during the enrollment process and open enrollment. Because I know you go and visit clients all the time and you help them get through that process when they're not in our system. Talk about that.
Roger, technology is great, but the technology can't do it alone, we feel. So for open enrollment, what we like to do, and it's been difficult during COVID, is have employee meetings where we come in and explain how the benefit works. We can use the videos and all the different things that are available that can be put into the HCM benefit enrollment system, but having a person on site, go through the benefits, and asking personal questions or having personal questions being asked of us, how the benefit would impact or help an employee is awesome. We also introduce ourselves as the people behind the scenes. And again, that's important. Our job does not end when an enrollment is over. So we can go through, educate the people. They make decisions. Some people sign up, some people don't. And then the next thing you know, we have a claim. Well, some people need help with claims. If we've been there at an employee meeting, it's awesome because the people know who we are, they see us, and then when it's time for them to file a claim, they know who they're talking to, they know who to go to help get that claim filed. It's typically very easy to do, but some people need help. So we're introducing ourselves to them. We're also making ourselves available after the meeting, and people will come up with some very specific questions that pertain to them personally, that they didn't want to ask a question in front of everybody else. Excellent example. And this is one way of maybe in a sense beating the insurance company and their underwriting rules that they put out. We had talked about guarantee issue. One of the things with the critical illness plan is that yes, there may be a pre-existing condition clause in there, but let's say a female employee has a family history of breast cancer. That person would still be eligible for the critical illness plan, and there would be no underwriting done. They wouldn't ask, do you have a family history of breast cancer? It's an awesome, awesome way, again, to get coverage of somebody, in a sense, beat the system. But oftentimes somebody is not going to stand up and say, I have a family history of breast cancer in a group meeting. Can I get this plan? How does the pre-existing condition clause apply? They may ask questions around it. So by being available to the people afterwards, and maybe we're back 2 times to make ourselves available to answer questions. But being there, answering those questions personally can make a big difference in whether a person wants the plan or doesn't want the plan and understands it.
So you mentioned maybe 1 or 2 times. Let's be clear on that. You'll go as often as the company needs you to go, right? I mean, you talk with these companies and say, hey, what do you need from us? And you design that service around it. Talk about how you do that.
Yeah, we do. Every company's needs are different. They have employer groups that have a very robust HR staff, and we get them the information. We'll do the employee meetings, but they handle everything afterwards. Some of our employer groups have an HR person who is also the office administrator, the payroll person, and their time's pretty limited. So there are different things that we can put together to help them, again, augment the HCM system and the benefits enrollment piece. And one of those things would be something as simple as putting a video into that benefits enrollment system where somebody can go through and verbally explain to the employee, how the benefit works. And that's, some people are visual learners, some people can read it and take everything in. So there's different mediums that we can use to communicate and help that HR person.
And I think one of the other things that I know about your department and how you take care of servicing claims, which you mentioned earlier, is that because of the relationships you and your team have with the carriers, it's going to be easier for you to get answers and resolutions because you know who to call, and where a claimant was calling in, they would be put into the queue and who knows what happens. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely. One of the things that we tell people is, and we do this really with core benefits and voluntary benefits, is tell the employees if they have an issue, they have something they don't understand, something that is not going right, they don't feel a claim was adjudicated properly, that they give us a call. We do have those connections with the insurance companies, but more importantly, we can sit and listen to the employee's problem, better describe it when we make a phone call to the insurance company and get it solved quicker. I always like to say, you call customer service at an insurance company and they will always answer the question that is asked. The real secret is asking the right questions, and employees don't always know to do that. So we will help them push these claims through, find out what's going on, and then communicate back to them.
All right, so let's recap for a minute. We talked about a handful of things. Why should someone consider using us as a broker for voluntary benefits and the other things that we do? And again, we've talked about the technology. We talked about our service, the options available. We've talked about the human capital management platform and the ability to integrate those things. But if you were to recap it, why would somebody want us?
Roger, I think you just kind of summed it all up, but you do an excellent job. But again, it's a coordinated effort. We, here at the benefit companies, I have the luxury of being a benefits person who has a strong contact with the payroll people, the HCM people. It's awesome. I mean, it just works great. So if somebody has an issue, maybe with the benefits enrollment piece or the deductions, we have a system here where we can take care of all that. We understand each other, we work together, we communicate. And that's huge, just huge.
All right. I think I've got a better picture, but I think we covered most of what I wanted to make sure we got today. Anything else that we didn't cover you want to make sure that we throw out there? Did we get it all?
I think we got it all, Roger. Every client is different. So, and their needs are different and their people are different. And that's really what drives voluntary benefits, or again, what we call personal selection, because people can choose the benefits that they need. They can also choose the agency that they work with, quite frankly. And by controlling so many different aspects of the whole process of putting a voluntary benefit plan in, it's just a winning formula.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you for being here today. Thanks.
Thanks, Roger.
To learn more about voluntary benefits, all the offerings, and our trademark human capital management system, Connect and Simplify, go to connectandsimplify.com or give Tim a call at 262-207-1999, extension 122. Again, thanks for listening. Be well. Inside Connect and Simplify is sponsored by the Benefit Companies and our trademarked human capital management platform, Connect and Simplify. Connect and Simplify integrates payroll, time labor management, human resources, retirement plans, and employee benefits in one single sign-on cloud-based platform. We help you manage your workforce from hire to retire. Go to connectandsimplify.com to learn more about our products and services, our educational resources, and our relationship with UKG, Ultimate Kronos Group. UKG is our technology partner who gives us the best-in-class, state-of-the-art technology so we can give our clients the best solutions for their company. Again, that is connectandsimplify.com. Thanks for listening.